welcome. Happy February 26th, 2021. This is another episode of Shiz and Giggles. I'm your host, Andrea Lyons. I'm so happy to be with you today. How about this week? Am I right? Ooh. Well, you are here now with us. We're on another episode of Shiz and Giggles. It's our weekly wind down podcast where we talk about pretty much anything and everything. I'm your host, but I'm never, ever going to do this by myself. I'll always have co-hosts. And our first co-host today is a DIY advocate that specializes in graphic design and video editing. She's a boba tea and salty snack enthusiast, born on the winter solstice and named after Christmas. It's Christine Noel. Hey, girl.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You know what? I feel fabulous. All right. So before we get into the show too heavy, we got to bring in our second co-host. Like I said, never by ourselves. So our second co-host is savvy, sassy, and super chic. She is a world traveler, speaks 3 languages, un, deux, trois, uno, dos, tres. Christine, help me with it. I don't know. Trio.
Isa, dalawa, tatlo.
Hey, yeah, that's it. She speaks 3 languages, passionate about fashion and the social needs. It's SPK. Sarah, how you doing today?
I just want to say you did so good. I was laughing. I was like, very nice. I quite like that. Yeah. So good. So happy to be here.
So happy to have you. Okay, so this week, everybody, we are talking about the power of mentorship. The power of mentorship. You know, a good mentor is someone who can help you grow in your career. They give you advice based on their own experiences, kind of what's worked well for them in the past, or maybe something that could be done differently in the future. So looking up to and leaning on or learning from people who've already worked through some of the issues that you're having. I was going to sound so British, issues. The issues that you're having can teach you a lot, but many people struggle to ask for that initial help. So in today's job market, while a mentor can be more important than ever and advice can come from anyone in the field, I'd like to ask you, my co-host, and everybody watching, what has been your experience with having a mentor or with being one yourself, being a mentor yourself?
All right. I guess since I verbally said something, I'll start. My experience having a mentor, first of all, I do want to say that there is a difference between a mentor and a coach. Like, they're 2 different things. So I learned that as I was looking for a mentor. Just like, you never know that you need a mentor until you get a mentor. It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like it's so easy to be like, well, you know, I got this, I can do this. Like you think that you have everything in line, and maybe you do, but having that like third party come in, I guess it's second party because you're by yourself. But yeah, having that extra person come in and kind of give you a different perspective is very important. So I love having mentors. I love speaking. I just love hearing. So I think they're amazing, incredible.
Question: what's the difference between a mentor and a coach?
I knew you were gonna ask me that.
Yeah, you brought it up.
I don't know what it is. So from my past experience, I guess a coach kind of like guides you towards achieving like something like a goal per se. Whereas a mentor is like they're passing on skills to you and giving you expertise so you can become more successful. So I feel like one, which is mentor, is kind of like has an overall like bettering you as a person, whereas a coach has a specific goal, has a specific target to help you with, if that makes sense.
That makes complete sense. I forgot that tennis player's name. He's like ranked 4th in the world. Roger Federline. Look that up. Am I right? Let me make sure that's right. I think so. But I think he's the one. I was reading an article that he has 7 coaches, and each of the coaches works. Is that right? Was I right?
Federline. You got the last name right. Wait, no, Kevin Federline.
No, it's Britney's or somebody. Whoa, what?
No, you're right.
Happening?
Roger Federer. You're right.
Roger Federer. Okay.
Yeah.
So Roger Federer, I read in the article that he has 7 coaches and each coach works on a different thing. So like he has a coach for like his forward swing. I don't know tennis. Let me just stop. But the article said that like whether it's endurance or nutrition or the swing that he has or covering the court or whatever all the coaches are, there's a specific coach that focuses on a specific like specialized training for him. And I think that's really interesting because I thought about that for myself. I don't know, Christine, what has been your experience with having a mentor or a coach?
I know for like a lot of programs, especially once you get to the age where you start developing what interests you're into or what you might want to pursue in life, there's a lot of programs that are like, oh, get a mentor. But a lot of times mentors who sign up or are forced to sign up are kind of use it more as just like a title, like, oh, they're my mentees, like they're my little followers, and they don't really like humbly guide them on a good path. So they I guess they develop kind of a not really toxic, but not a genuine and natural relationship that a mentor should like create.
So what is the obligation of a mentor and a mentee then?
It's mostly just like understanding that mentees may not know what they want in life. So just being patient and like understanding and empathetic with their uncertainty, especially when they're at a young age. Because a lot of times they're like, oh, I want to do all these things. And then the mentor's like, okay, here's all these YouTube video links. Here you go off on your way. But then the mentee's like, wait, come back.
Yeah. If you're just joining us today, we're talking about mentorship, like how to find one, how to get one, our experiences with one. That's interesting. So Sarah, what do you see as your obligation, like as the mentee, if you have a mentor?
I agree with Christine in the sense where sometimes you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what you want. However, I know I was having a conversation with a friend and they were letting me know like they were part of this like mentorship program, so they were learning to become a mentor, and they were saying like, you know, I don't want people to think that this is going to become a therapy session or a venting session, because I understand a mentor has to know you like as a whole, you know, as a whole person, and has to get to know you. So it does involve getting that backstory and just talking a lot. However, you always have to keep in mind of your, you know, what is the purpose of you having this mentor, what you want out of it. So for me, and also the mentor, just keeping each other like kind of a checks and balances thing, kind of like, hey, we can become besties and, you know, we can bond. And, you know, I'm so grateful that you're giving me all these things to better myself and my life per se, but let's keep on like, make sure we're staying on target and I ultimately get what I wanted out of this. And ultimately that makes you a better mentor if you're able to provide what you had intended to provide.
So what is the value to a mentor then? Like, because a mentee, it's really simple. So so we're talking about coaches and mentorship. So for a mentee, it's simple, right? You want somebody to teach you how to get twice as far in half as much time. That's the value of a mentee. So if you're a mentor, what do you as the mentee, you say, okay, no one does anything for like just kicks, right? So as a mentee, what is that you give to the mentor? What do you give? What's the exchange, I guess?
I mean, I guess it depends.
Also, mad props, Sarah, for like responding and being a part of this. Really doing great on social media.
Be a savvy.
So great. Hey, Lori. Hi, Terica. Like so good.
I think for mentors, like, I mean, I don't know what it takes to be a mentor, what the criteria and the guidelines are, but I think that, wow, I just went blank. Sorry. I lost my place. I think that mentors, I think it's like gaining experience, right? It's like, you know, you're building that track record of like, hey, I helped change that person's life. And maybe you never know, maybe all that advice that you're giving and that mentoring that you're giving helps you better your life as well. So I don't know exactly what it is, but that would be my guess.
All right. Well, I think that's interesting, and I think it's inspiring. And I know we have to move on with the show, but this is a topic I could talk about forever. As someone who has benefited from a lot of mentorships and is now kind of in the place to be a mentor, I think it's it's an interesting relationship to have and to cultivate. Like I think mentorships take a lot of time, and I think it's required by two people to invest into that type of arrangement. Okay, all right. So we gotta go. I know we have like a time limit here. It's nuts.
What?
Okay, I know, and it's like gone so fast. I didn't even get to ask all the questions because I just got sidetracked with all these other things. But all right, we'll get back on task. So let's do our segments. So I think we're gonna go to our first segment with this is gonna be so fun. All right, first segment of the day, we're gonna go to Clever Changes with Christine.
Okay, everybody. I don't know how your schooling experience was, but for me, we had arts and crafts. We had probably a new project like every other day in elementary school. And a lot of times you'd take it home or like you'd have a big project the next week or something like that. And me being shy when I was younger, I never wanted to ask my parents for where's the glue? Where's the craft scissors? So I always had to be crafty and try and figure it out at like 9 p.m. on a school night when my parents were already in bed. So I actually learned this trick from my grandpa. Rest in peace, Tata. He passed away a couple of years ago, but I learned this from him. He's an island boy. He grew up in the Philippines, so they really just worked with what they had. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you my little hack for if you don't have glue or if you can't find it, like I could never find when I was younger. We're going to turn our little camera over here. Okay, so what we have here is, this is the little background that I made. I made this little bear while we were waiting. Pretend this is your kid's craft, okay? They made a little diagram of a bear in his little natural habitat. Okay. Now we have the secret ingredient, rice. Now this is cooked rice. Don't think it's dry, because if it's dry, it's not going to work. This is cooked rice. It's probably like a day old, not going to lie. I warmed it up a little bit, so it's a little more moist.
Christine.
Okay, put your camera down.
Yeah, lower your camera. We can't. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of rice. Okay. Take a little bit. You just need a little pinch, okay? This is going to act as your glue. You're going to squeeze it a tiny bit. And you're going to like mush it into the paper. Okay? See that? Mm-hmm. And then you stick it on. You mush it in. And then boom.
Wait, cooked rice is glue?
Yeah. It's starch.
No, because it's like tacky.
It's a starch.
Oh my gosh. You want to know something. That's
so if you ever need glue, you're literally like, it's the night before a big presentation for your kid. You need the PowerPoint, or not the PowerPoint, the backboard. The trifold. They're making the trifold. They try to put the pictures on real quick. Even like the morning before. Got some rice. Warm it up really quick.
You discovered this in elementary school?
I was like 6, probably. Well, my grandpa was like, why are you looking for glue? You can just use the rice. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, look.
Oh my God.
And it sticks. And then it dries like hard, so it'll stay.
Rice.
And it dries hard because it's rice.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, rice is really so beneficial. Like, it's yummy. There's rice water for your hair. You can use it as glue. You know what? Keep telling me more. What else can rice do?
If you eat too much of it, you can probably get a little chubby, but that's okay. Rice is good. Rice is good.
Carbs. We stand for carbs here.
Yes.
What? That is wild. I love it.
I'm gonna go. Wow, I'm gonna have a lot of fun this weekend.
I don't even know like what to do with that, but now I just feel smarter.
It's a hack. You never know.
So smarter.
You literally never know.
Glue, but like I'm gonna want to use glue.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Thanks, Christine.
Of course. And that is your change for the week.
I'm changed. I'm totally changed.
Hashtag changed.
Hashtag changed. All right, moving on to our next segment. Let's go to Sarah with What's the 411?
Hey everyone, it's your girl, always here to keep you up with the latest news and what's going on in the world. So for today's 411, I hope you guys have heard of this. Obama, former President Barack Obama, has just released his very first podcast. Like, what? I was so excited to hear this because this man is like brilliant and he's just been through so much. I mean, all presidents have been through so much, but I feel like Obama has been through a lot. So he collaborated with Bruce Springsteen. I can never say his name. Bruce Springsteen for their podcast called Renegades Born in the USA. So personally, I have not listened to the first episode yet, but it's on my to-do list for this weekend. The reason why this was like super major and like big news because it's the president and he's like doing something super cool and like super trendy. But also, I was doing some research and there's a lot of press about this, obviously, but also a lot of people were like, okay, there are some news outlets that are like, well, this is great. This is perfect timing. I believe the Chicago Tribune said that. But there's other news outlets, I had to check CNN and NBC, all those different, perspective platforms. And some were saying, the platform that he chose, which is Spotify, was very controversial because Spotify is, it's not what you would expect from a former president. So have you guys heard about this podcast that Barack Obama released? Have you heard about the backlash? No. Oh, okay. So it's all on me. Okay. I really need to 411 then.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, Allison. I wanted to say that while she's up.
Hey, Allie girl. Allie Mia. Is it Allie?
Hunter. Oh, wait. We probably shouldn't have said her name on our Worldwide podcast, but...
Okay. It's fine. No, just
it's fine. No. It's fine. We're just kidding.
You said something. You said something.
Thumper. Allison Thumper. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so interesting. You guys haven't heard about this, like.
So I know, okay. So here's what I know. I know Michelle Obama had a podcast on Spotify. I know that the number one podcast there is, Joe Rogan's podcast, is also like Spotify bought it. So like from a business standpoint, I know that Spotify is like trying to buy up this like popular content. And I can't think of anyone better to like purchase than our Twitter follower, Barack Obama.
Oh yeah.
So, hashtag Barack Obama follows all about presentation on Twitter.
Period.
So, but like, I can't think of anyone better to like, but I mean, is it just like real backlash or is this just like somebody needs a reason to complain? You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
That's a good point. I think that everyone just needs something to say. There's always, there can't be too many pros and good. There always has to be a little negativity, which I get it. We're not a utopian society. It's fine. I read some of the threads about like what's discussed in the podcast, and I think it's just so relatable. Like Obama tells a story about how he got really mad in grade school or something like that, or like back in his school years, and he like, punched someone in the face because I think they did something that had to do with like a racial slur that they used against him. Which is like, it's so relatable. Like I feel like sometimes when it comes to, we talked about celebrities one week where it's like, they're high profile people, but like they're also people and they've gone through experiences. So for you to hear the president of the United States or the former president of the United States be like, yeah, I punched the guy in the face, so what? I just feel like it's so relatable and he's able to be a normal person again. So I think it's so cool.
Yes. Okay, so dropped in the chat about, didn't Bruce Springsteen just get like a DWI, so driving while intoxicated, which apparently is different than DUI, which is driving under the influence. I don't know the differences. It might be the charges, that like how much you pay. But yeah, so he got a DWI recently. Now, here's the thing. When you team up with people, man, that just kind of, oh boy.
I got all the receipts.
All the receipts come back. It's like crazy. And it makes you look bad. Like, oh.
But honestly, I would like to do a poll to see, like, okay, I'm not trying to promote DWIs and DUIs, whatever, but it's like, how many Americans have gone to DWI?
Well, his thing is that he was getting off with it and just a fine. He didn't have to do the whole, like, if you get it nowadays, it's like, you got to do time. Like, it's a requirement, mandatory, like some amount of time. But he hasn't done that. So it's like, I remember Trump Jr. called him, it's not white privilege, this is hashtag liberal privilege, and you want to go, eye roll, please. But but it does impact like the podcast and all that. Oh,
It's also crazy because it's like the Super Bowl was 2 weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was an ad for Jeep, and Bruce was actually starring in it for
they
Jeep.
pulled it. They pulled that ad.
I was like, ooh.
It's so.
They did. They
wow.
did pull that ad. They sure did.
Crazy.
Oh man.
I mean,
regardless,
that's the 411. Whatever your opinion about it is, we'd love to hear about it in the chat, but I just want to let you guys know that is a thing, and think about it.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm getting ready for my segment, but you guys caught me, so I'm going to take it off. I was getting ready. I was totally getting ready for my segment, so it's cool. My segment's coming up. I was like, what's going on? Me. It's me. It's my segment. Thanks, Sarah, for the 411. All right. As we round out the show here, we are going to close with my segment, which is You've Got This. All right, ladies, here's what my segment is about today. I gave a speech or a talk earlier this week to a group of women business owners, and we talked about each person on the panel talked about things they've learned during COVID, things they've learned during entrepreneurship, that sort of thing. And so I did a talk, and my talk was on 3 things that I've learned as a result of, if I had to boil it all down into like 3 of my most recent learnings, they would be as follows. Okay. So the first one would be you got to be open, right? So that would be the very first thing I would say. So what do I mean by that? So like I remember in April of 2020? Yes. Okay. So there was a whole lot of crazy going on in April of 2020 last year. And one of my mentors, by the way, I have 6 mentors. I was like, Roger Federer has 7. I'm going to give me 6. So I actually have 6 mentors, and they actually do coach different parts of my life and primarily the business. So like we have someone that guides like sales, someone that guides strategy, someone that guides talent and HR and certain things that are related to the people management. Then there are things that are specifically geared towards me and my development, like my personal and professional development. And so I have various mentors that kind of cover different things. And one of the things one of my mentors said, and it was really the only reason why we're still in business and thriving and hiring, BTW, we're hiring. Check ZipRecruiter, all about presentation. We are hiring. So the reason why we're actually in this position as an event company in the travel, leisure, hospitality industry is because he said, April 17th, 2020, he said, Andrea, you need to wrap your mind around the fact that you may not do an event for the rest of the year. And you have people that you pay, you have all the overhead that you have, and now you need to make a business work. And it cannot be the one you're in because that's not going to make any money. And the business we were in was, 90% of the business was, in-person events. And so when he said that to me, it was like cracked it wide open. Is it what I wanted to hear? No, not at all. So one of the things that I always say when you're looking for a mentor or you want to be a mentor or whatever, especially when you're looking for a mentor, is 1, are you coachable? Are you open? Because if you're not open, forget it. It'll never work, because anything anybody suggests to you, you're going to say no, because that's not the way you saw it or the way you think it should be. But so the question I asked everybody is, are you open? Right? So be open. Be open to the fact that somebody may see something totally different than you in a completely different way that you see it. The next one is be willing. I have a coach right now who she will call, or there's a mentor really, she'll call and say, have you thought about what you need to do for XYZ? When it was like the PPP loans first came out way back, I was one of those people that was like, I'm not getting the PPP loan. This is ridiculous because we have to pay it back, yada, 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 the whole thing. And then my mentor called and said, have you considered getting a PPP loan? And I was like, how am I going to pay back a loan when yada, yada, yada. So then the whole forgivable piece came out, right? But I had already applied for the loan because I was like, if this mentor of mine is calling me out of her extraordinarily busy schedule, she manages like a gazillion million people in various departments, etc. If she is personally making a phone call to me that says, have you considered doing this? Then that needs to be something that I need to be thinking about, and I need to be doing. So I looked at it again. I applied again. It worked great. It was forgivable. Our first PPP loan was forgiven like back in December. So I know, so exciting. And I was like, if I had been that person that's like, no, because it's not forgivable, I hadn't been willing to do the work and willing to do all of that, then we wouldn't have had like the very needed capital to survive the COVID pandemic. And then the last thing I'll say is be able. That's like one of the biggest ones that I'm learning is that understanding, do you have the tools and the skill set to do the thing? So for example, you can be open, you can be willing, but are you able to do it? And that can come either from do you have the right people, the right manpower, the right time to do it? Like, am I able to do it? Whatever the thing is that I'm being mentored on, or do I have the right skill set and knowledge to do it? So I look at some of the things that we looked at for being able to do something. One of the ones was I able to run a virtual meeting, right? Like, I think, Sarah, you could totally agree that if we went back 1 year from now, our knowledge of virtual events in comparison to now is like peanut, like
100.
We knew nothing, like in comparison to what we know now. It's like we would have been like a year ago, like, what is Zoom and why do I want one? Like that
phone call meetings, like on the phone. Like, who does that now?
Oh my God, that happened to
I
us
remember
this
walking,
week.
it was Jasmine and Andrea, like, hello, this is Andrea and Jasmine. Like, they would have this one single phone, and like everyone would have to like scroll our.
We had like a speaker phone,
and it was
like
we didn't know who anybody was, but it's like I can't even imagine going back to like that. Like, it has to be Zoom meetings. Period.
Oh my God, it was so funny. We were we did that this week. Somebody said I set up a conference call for us, and I was like
what?
a legit conference call, like with a number and a pin.
What is that?
And that was like, whoa, that's like that was so last year. So we had to get our ability up, a lot of our ability. So we had to become really savvy really quickly in not just Zoom, but if you guys check out our social media pages, you'll see the type of 3D experiences that we're doing now. So be sure to check us out on Facebook at All About Presentation and Instagram at All About Presentation. And you'll see the things that we did this week, this incredible 3D immersive experience. What'd you say, Sarah?
It's like, this can't be real.
it's and like most people will tell you, it almost feels like being at the event. It's about as close as you're gonna get to an in-person event.
So it's better than in person too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's targeted. It's like really nice. Like, I talk to this person right now. We don't have people interrupting. It's just, it's really, really cool. So just me thinking about like our ability has grown tremendously. So I'm just going to say, just to recap for everybody, there's kind of 3 things in a mentoring relationship that I always either look for if I'm mentoring others, or when I am being mentored, I always look at, am I open, am I willing, and am I able? Open, willing, and able. So that's my talk for today, everybody. So that being said, let's talk about, do you guys have anything else to add today?
No,
pretty good.
Everything. Very interesting.
Very interesting conversation. Well, I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us. Those that have joined us, it's going to be an incredible weekend. I say that if you say it, maybe you'll make it so, you know. So if you would, we'd love to have you back here every Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn, all about presentation. If you can't make it, don't worry. We repost our episodes on a YouTube channel and IGTV videos and on our Instagram page. So I just want to say to all of you, happy Friday or happy Friday and have a really, really good weekend. Talk to you later.
Bye.